If anyone had told Joy that jealousy could drive girls to dig a pit just to bury her, she would have laughed and dismissed it. Yet, looking back, she realized that envy often wore the sweetest smile and spoke in the gentlest tone before striking with a cruel heart. Joy lived in a small village called Sunnyvale, where everyone knew each other's business. She was often called the beauty of the village, a name she neither asked for nor wanted. From the moment she could fetch water at the river, people noticed her radiant presence even before she noticed it herself. She was her parents' only child. Her mother, Mary, was warm-hearted, her laughter brightening even the darkest days. Her father, Kelvin, was quiet and hard-working, believing that silence solved most problems. They were simple farmers, tending to cassava and yam fields. Life was modest, yet peaceful, until the whispers began. It started subtly. When Joy passed the village square, groups of girls would giggle behind her back. At first, she ignored them, thinking it harmless. But one afternoon at the river, she heard one hiss. See her? Walking like she owns the whole village just because of her face. She turned to see 3 girls, Sandra, Tessie, and Alma, who always moved together. Their eyes were filled with mockery and hidden malice. Joy smiled nervously, hoping kindness could disarm them, but it only fueled their obsession. From then on, they made her their constant subject of ridicule. Beauty, fine girl, but so proud. Do you think the prince will marry you just because your skin shines? Sometimes they mimicked her every move. Joy would return home pretending not to care, yet tears fell as soon as she closed the door. Mary noticed immediately. "My daughter," she would say, gently brushing Joy's hair, "even sweet honey attracts jealous flies. Don't dim your light for them." Yet their cruelty escalated. The girls began calling her Snake Girl and Spirit Child, whispering that her beauty was unnatural, a product of her mother's dealings with dark forces. Other villagers slowly distanced themselves, leaving Joy increasingly isolated. Kelvin tried to calm Mary. "People always talk. Let them. Our child's worth isn't determined by gossip." Despite this, Joy stayed away from the market, spending her days helping on the farm or cooking. Yet isolation only intensified her loneliness. She would peek through the bamboo fence, watching the girls laugh, and walk to the village square, longing for friendship she could not trust. Then came the news that would change everything. The prince of the neighboring kingdom was to choose a bride. A grand ceremony and dance awaited, inviting every unmarried girl. The village buzzed with excitement. Mothers sewed new wrappers, girls practiced dance moves. Joy didn't plan to attend, fearing mockery, but Mary insisted. "Joy, you will go. Don't let fear cage your destiny. Perhaps the gods will favor you." She prepared quietly, selecting a beautiful wrapper from her mother's trunk. Mary gave her a cowrie necklace. "You look like a queen," she said proudly. But jealousy never rests. The 3 girls plotted her ruin. Meeting at the river, they whispered, "If Joy goes to the dance, the prince will choose her immediately. We cannot allow it." Days later, they approached her house with smiles and gifts, pretending to be friends. Joy hesitated, but allowed herself to believe in their change. Mary warned, "Joy, snakes don't change, they just shed skin." Joy let them braid her hair, laugh with her, and compliment her dance practice. Trust returned, fragile but real. One afternoon, showing them her dance outfit, they gasped, praising her like true friends. Yet their eyes betrayed their intent. On the day of the ceremony, the girls suggested a shortcut through the bush. Joy hesitated, but chose to trust them. Laughter filled the path until it grew narrow and silent. Without warning, the ground beneath her crumbled. She screamed as she fell into a hidden pit, her legs hitting roots and stones. Above her, the girls stood, smiling cruelly. "Dance there, village beauty," Sandra sneered. "Let's see if the prince still wants you now." Joy's screams echoed through the forest, but no one came. Darkness closed in. At the palace, her mother and father grew frantic. Mary begged the king to search for their daughter, but the girls denied knowing her whereabouts. The prince danced with the maidens, but felt no connection. His heart knew Joy was missing. Meanwhile, Joshua, the palace hunter, heard faint cries early the next morning. Following the voice, he discovered the deep pit and rescued Joy, weak and trembling. Giving her water, he decided to take her straight to the palace. When Joy's parents arrived, they were shocked and relieved. The king listened intently as Joy explained everything. Furious, he summoned the three girls. "Do you know this girl?" he demanded. Tears filled their eyes as they admitted their jealousy and malicious plan. The king sentenced them to imprisonment and social exile. No one in the village would interact with them or support them. Finally, the prince approached Joy. "I have found my bride," he announced, lifting her to her feet. Cheers erupted in the palace as Joy embraced her parents. Her destiny, forged by patience, courage, and virtue, had been fulfilled despite envy's cruel attempt to shatter it. Thanks for watching Luchy's Storytime. See you in the next one.